Yes, folks, welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It is starting 11 prediction time once again for tomorrow's trip to face Livingston at the Toni Macaroni Arena. This is obviously one of our toughest away games of the season. It always is, year in and year out, and I expect tomorrow to be no different. Since Livingston returned to the top flight in 2018, we've really struggled going there. We've only got that solitary win, but it was the last time we visited there towards the end of last season. We got a 3-1 victory. We played really, really well on the day, and hopefully that will breed confidence for the team coming into this game tomorrow. I think far too often when you have a bad run at a certain venue, and said this yesterday, and actually agree with him, too often people talk about it so much that it becomes like a mental block for the players. So I think it's really important that we won that game last season. It was vital in terms of securing us the title, and hopefully we can really build on that going into this game tomorrow. And we can, if we win tomorrow, then the monkey's definitely off our backs. We talked about that after that victory there in April, but I think tomorrow, if we get another win, back-to-back wins there, we can really move forward. And that run that we had there can be history. Obviously, Livingston come into this game sitting sixth in the table. They got a 1-1 draw at Ibrox last weekend. We know what their strengths are. They've got Joel Newbley leading the line. Big boy, physical presence, helps them get up the pitch. Scored 2 goals against Rangers this season, so he's definitely a threat, and they defend spaces really well. Obviously, we know the plastic pitch doesn't help. It's a small pitch. The surface is difficult to play on. It's always dry, which makes it difficult for us given the way we like to play football. But the team know all these challenges. We've got to be ready for a physical battle as well. That's something we did really well in that game. We won towards the back end of last season. We were ready for a battle. We won the tackles. We got on the second balls. We'll have to do that again tomorrow. Last bit of interesting reading coming into this, it's running along the bottom of your screen just now, that since Livingston returned to league in 2018, we've only won 5 of 13 league matches against them. That's a 38% win rate. That's the lowest we've had against any league opponent since 2018-19. So I think it's fair to say that Livingston have been Celtic's toughest opponent over the last 4 or 5 years. So this is really a big game for us tomorrow, and we've got to get 3 points. Again, tough coming off the back of a European game during the week. I expect the managers to make some changes again, but as long as we can play at our usual intensity and perform as we did the last time we were there in terms of being ready for the physical battle, and then going and playing our football, I'm sure we can get the win that we need. So we'll start in goals with the team as we always do. Joe Hart will play there. I think there'll be a change at right back tomorrow. I think Anthony Ralston will come in. This is a game that I think is suited to him. I said that could have been the case last weekend at Tynecastle, a more physical game. You know that Ralston's always ready for a battle. He can handle himself physically in the game, so I think he'll play it right back tomorrow. I think he did well at Tynecastle last week and merits a start tomorrow. Juranovic didn't have his best night the other night, and on that basis I think Ralston will get the nod. I think the centre-half pairing will stay the same. That'll be Carter Vickers and Moritz Jens. Good to hear that Starfelt's back in training, but there's absolutely no danger he's going to start this game tomorrow, particularly on this surface, having been out for such a long time. So that'll be the centre-half pair, and I think left back will be Greg Taylor. I suppose there's a chance we could see Bernabe come in, but I just think Taylor, given his form, given how big a game this is for us, given our record against Livingston, I think Taylor will start at left back. In midfield, I expect O'Reilly to keep his place in that deeper position. So much debate about his performance the other night. I didn't think, from being there at the game, seeing it once live, I didn't think he was brilliant. I know he got man of the match, and there was some really good stats and aspects of his game. I just think he made some really poor decisions in the final third at times, and I think that's something you associate the opposite with him. He's usually so calm and composed in the final third in advanced areas when he's playing further up the pitch. I'm just of the opinion that I don't think playing as the 6 is getting the best out of him, but the game's all about opinions, and I think a lot of people like him in that position. A lot of people thought he was absolutely brilliant the other night. It's just not how I found his performance. I didn't think he was terrible, but I didn't think he was absolutely excellent either. I think he will keep his place in that position, noting in front of him I've went for Rio Hatate, but I think David Turnbull might get a start. Now, it wouldn't surprise me to see Aaron Moy come back into the team. I actually thought he would start the game on Tuesday against Shakhtar. He didn't. Given his form recently, I think he'd played the previous 3 games in a row before that. We could see Moy come back in, but I've just went for Turnbull because he hasn't had a start in a while. And I think the manager has thrown up some strange changes, some unexpected changes in some of these games recently. There's always been 4, 5, sometimes 6 changes, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that tomorrow. And I've just got a sneaky feeling that Turnbull might be one that comes back in. We know that he's brilliant for us at this level, David Turnbull. And as long as we can move the ball quickly through midfield tomorrow, we should have a good chance of winning the game. On the right-hand side, James Forrest, I think he'll come back in. Didn't start during the week. Did start, if you remember, that 3-1 victory at Livingston towards the back end of last season. Was really good that day, scored a good goal. He's in good form as well. Obviously, the hat-trick against Hibs. He got the opener against Hearts last weekend as well. He's in brilliant form, and I think he will come back in and start this game. I think on the left-hand side, we'll see the return of another goal scorer from that 3-1 victory last season of Dyson Maeda. He's another one that didn't start during the week, and I think that sort of energy that he brings to the team is going to be important because we've got to try and get in behind Livingston. We've got to try and exploit them whenever they do come out and attack, and I think the work rate of Maeda and the pace in behind can hopefully hurt Livingston. Now, through the middle, I'm going to go with Yakimakis. I think you can see that Kyogo was really struggling for confidence just now. Missed another great chance, even though he was playing a slightly different position. Obviously, both of them were playing together on Tuesday, which is probably the first time I think they've started together that I can remember. Kyogo was coming deeper, almost in the 10 position, but dropped into midfield to pick up the ball. Not natural form, I don't think, although he showed some bright spells in the game. But I just think in front of goal, his confidence is shot to pieces because he gets that chance in the second half. Lovely wee ball through for Yakimakis, but he just snatches at it. It looks like he doesn't even have a picture in his head of what he's trying to do. As soon as the ball is played through him, he snatches at it with his left foot straight at the goalkeeper. And I think that kind of sums up where his confidence is just now. On the other hand, I thought Yakimakis was brilliant the other night. I thought he's probably one of the few players you could say really played well on the night. I think we had too many below par individual performances, and had those guys played well, played to the standard they usually do, then we'd probably have won the game. I think Yakimakis was really good, held the ball up well, took the big chance that came his way, and was a constant threat and a problem for Shakhtar physically. I think we'll need that tomorrow again. I know Livingston like the physical side of the game, so you could say that's playing into their hands a wee bit. But I think if Yakimakis can get up against Obalai, up against the Livingston centre-halves, and disrupt him, then there'll be spaces for the wide players like Forrest, like Maeda. And the good thing tomorrow is that Jota is back in training, likely to be on the bench, I would think. Again, there's no danger we're going to start him in this game on this surface, having been out for the period of time he's been out for. But that's a huge boost for us to have him back. And I think if he's on the bench, should we need him at any point in the game, that's a really strong weapon for us to have. I think if this is the starting 11, the bench will be really strong and there'll be plenty of options there for the manager to change it, which we know he likes to do. We usually get the triple sub around about 60-65 minutes. I'd probably expect to see him again tomorrow, given the exploits and the output of the team on Tuesday night. So there you go, that's the team I think the manager will pick for tomorrow. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts on the team below. Who do you think will start? How many changes do you think there'll be from the game on Tuesday? And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back at the Toni Macaroni Arena tomorrow with all of the full-time reactions, so join us for that. And wherever you're watching the game around the world, enjoy it. Cheers.